All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol NNDM, Nano Dimensions. And before we start with this chart, I want to go ahead and say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So Nano Dimensions has been with some volatility in the last couple of days. We could see that from last week to this week. It's been up and down, but when you look at it in the much more zoomed out picture, after being in a very bearish run, it has actually been in a recovery state, hitting newer highs and new resistance levels and doing its best to stay above the 50-day moving average. That's probably one of the most important things about this chart right now, that the bulls are doing a great job at staying above the 50-day moving average since the beginning of this week and the ending of last week as it was starting to work its way up. But also, how long will that stay that way? That's probably the most important thing, because the bulls need to continue to stay above the 50-day moving average to hit newer highs and new resistance levels. And we want to look at now, since recently the bulls hit new highs and broke through all the previous resistance levels based off the history of the chart. What's the highest point this reached? Well, the highest point that it reached was $6. That's probably one of the most important resistance levels in the near term, within weeks from now or months from now, depending on the volatility of this stock in the upward direction. So super important to keep that in mind. And the lowest point in the bearish run was down here, and it was touched twice at 268. I don't know if you guys remember in one of the previous videos how I made that one of the most important points to talk about and remember, due to the fact that I had done a trivia question on it consecutively 2 days in a row, so that everybody memorizes that. That's probably one of the most important points on the volatility of this stock in the downward direction. I mean, we haven't even gotten close to that again, but it's always important to keep those numbers in mind, because if that gets broken through, this would see newer lows. Now, that's not the direction this is going right now. We've been going in an upward direction, so the bulls want to break through the highest point after this resistance point that we're about to look at, which is $6, to hit newer highs, new resistance levels, and start to work their way up, back up to the highest points reached earlier in the year, and so forth. So we need to pay close attention to how this stock is reacting. How quickly is it moving upwards or sideways? And right now, it actually broke through resistance. It reached newer highs, and the highest point was 485. So that's going to need to be broken through. And once that gets broken through, the bulls are going to need to fight towards $6. And that's going to be the most important resistance level, like I said, in the near future, weeks or months from now, as the volatility of this goes upwards in that direction. So let's go ahead and see where we place our new resistance level based off the chart, and also support level. So this is the lowest point in this bearish run after the bullish run, and our resistance level is the highest point before it started to fall. Now it's kind of leveled off sideways, and we're at 446. And what is our 50-day moving average? Well, the 50-day moving average is 407. Super important number to keep in mind. Lets us know on what side of the chart we're in, if we're in bullish territory or bearish territory. As of right now, we're in bullish territory. And the bulls, to maintain this momentum and stay above the 50-day moving average, they're going to want to break through resistance. The reason why, and excuse me in advance for how terrible my drawing is, but I want you guys to visualize this, is because even if it reaches it and it kind of hangs out close to it and it doesn't break it and it kind of just goes in a sideways movement, and yes, it ended up somewhere higher than it was before, this 50-day moving average at some point will catch up to the price and end up above the price, which means that now we are in bearish territory, giving leverage to the bears to bring it down to newer lows. So it's super important for the bulls to continue to use resistance levels as support to continue to work its way up to newer highs and moving away from the 50-day moving average, in the sense of as it continues to move up, it's moving further and further away from the 50-day moving average, and the 50-day moving average won't catch up to it. So super important. So what's our resistance level? Well, this is the highest point before it started to fall, and that's 481. The bulls need to break through 481, turn that into a support, and break away from it to reach newer highs and new resistance levels. That's probably the most important point right now for the bulls to break through, to get further away from the 50-day moving average of 407 down here. And as long as we stay above it, we're in bullish territory. And the moment we're below it, we're in bearish territory. And for the bulls to continue to stay above it and not have the 50-day moving average catch up to it, the bulls need to break through 481, turn that into a support, reach newer highs, new resistance levels, and get deeper into bullish territory. Super important for the bulls to do so. Now, on the other hand, we have what the bears want. And we have a window between support and the 50-day moving average to see how the stock is reacting. How quickly it's moving to newer lows, or are the bulls trying to reappear within that area. Because we have that window that we're still in bullish territory between support and the 50-day moving average. So what's our support? The support is 432. Very important, and I want to emphasize this to all investors. Pay close attention to the behavior of the stock. How quickly is it moving down to newer lows, getting closer to the 50-day moving average, or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring this back up? Because like I stated, we're still in bullish territory even though this support level is broken through. The first support level below the 50-day moving average is down here at 405, and that's the lowest point before this ran up. So that point of reference is definitely now in bearish territory, and if that gets broken through, we will be pulling further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. But before even getting there, 432 is the first point of reference. It's the lowest point reached after this bullish run and starting to fall and level off. And I suggest paying very close attention to the behavior of the stock. How quickly is it moving to newer lows? And yes, we still have a window between support and the 50-day moving average in bullish territory to watch if the bulls are trying to reappear or are the bears dominating the chart. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.